Hi guys, and welcome back to Canada Top to Bottom. Now today we're tackling a thorny subject which has recently come into focus following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Should Canada become a republic and cease to be a constitutional monarchy? A few generations ago such a question was unthinkable, but a recent study by Canada's own Angus Reid Institute has revealed that a majority of Canadians across all main demographics don't think Canada should continue to have the British royal family at the head of their government. In this video we're going to outline the two sides of this debate and explain how it would actually work if Canada decided to become a republic.
The Angus Reid Institute did a similar survey in 2016 and 42% of Canadians thought that the country should remain a constitutional monarchy. But that figure is down to just 25% now. 52% of the population actively think that the royal family should no longer rule over Canada, and 23% said that they didn't have an opinion either way. To put it in simpler terms, the number of Canadians who actively want the country to become a republic is double the number of Canadians who think it should remain a constitutional monarchy. By March 2022, the public opinion firm Research Company found that just 1 in 5 Canadians express an outright preference for Canada to remain a monarchy.
The recent death of Queen Elizabeth was a sad event for many around the world, and it may also prove to be a significant one for the future of the royal family, because it's generally felt that King Charles III won't be as popular as his mother, and calls for the abolition of the monarchy in Canada may get louder in the coming months and years. So, what are the two main viewpoints on this argument, and how might things change in the years to come?
The first thing to explain is that Canada's head of state is King Charles III, but he doesn't hold absolute power, and his ability to make decisions is limited by the Canadian Parliament. In reality, he holds no meaningful power, and his role is essentially ceremonial. In addition, Canada doesn't provide the royal family with any income or financial support other than when they are physically in Canada or actively representing Canada abroad.
The main reason some people want to retain the royal family in Canadian life is that the monarch ensures that the country is governed fairly. No Canadian Prime Minister can become a dictator, and no law passed by the Canadian Parliament officially becomes law until it receives royal assent. The monarchy essentially acts like an official in a sports match, overseeing Canadian governance and making sure that the constitution of the country is respected and followed. Their constant presence ensures that there is continuity in how Canada is governed and that the traditions of the country are maintained.
On the other side of the debate are those who argue that the hereditary nature of the royal family makes it incompatible with the egalitarianism and multiculturalism of Canada. Republicans believe that the royal family is outdated and irrelevant, not to mention undemocratic. No Canadian can, after all, become Canada's head of state. North America is viewed as the New World, populated mainly by people who left their homes to search for a better life on a new continent, and Republicans feel that there is no place for a monarchy in a system like this.
Honestly, it seems that there aren't many people who feel really strongly about this issue, and the Monarchist League of Canada's Chief Executive Officer stated that the greatest threat to the monarchy is not republicanism, it's indifference. Most people we speak to don't seem to have a strong opinion on this topic, and it seems that ambivalence towards the royals is the overriding feeling here, certainly where we live in BC.
But what if a referendum happened and Canada voted to get rid of the royal family? How would it actually work? Well, the basic answer is that it wouldn't be easy, but it is possible. Firstly, there would almost certainly need to be a referendum, and right now it seems that there's little talk of that. But there'd then need to be universal consent in the House of Commons, the Senate, and each of the provincial legislators to change the Canadian Constitution. Even if there was the desire to amend the Constitution, the process would take years to complete, and all 10 provinces, as well as First Nations representatives, would all have to agree on the changes before the Constitution could be altered.
Republicans argue that the process is so complex that it effectively rules out the debate being seriously had. And they probably have a good point. The sheer difficulty of amending the Constitution and replacing the King with a Canadian Governor-General or Head of State would be incredibly complex, and that is a contributing factor in the debate. In contrast, the process was relatively simple in Barbados, which recently removed the monarch as the head of state. But despite the differences in how the change is practically enabled, Barbados is viewed as an example of what could be achieved if republicanism really got some traction here in Canada.
In addition to the complexity of changing the constitution, the indifference towards this matter amongst the Canadian population means that a change in the monarchy's role is unlikely. But the rate of social change everywhere in the world has been pretty remarkable in our lifetimes, and if that rate of change continues or even speeds up, we could see a referendum somewhere down the line. Lots of things didn't seem possible a decade ago, but now that we've seen Brexit, Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, nothing seems out of the question anymore.
For now though, we think things will stay just the way they are for a while. And speaking of consistency, we publish a high quality, entertaining and informative Canada related video every Wednesday and Sunday, so hit subscribe to get your regular fix. See you next time.